Hey, it's Walter and Anna from Blu-Grit Garage, and a little tech tip we have going. Spring is in the air, so we've had wildfires, then we had flooding, then we've had thunderstorms, tornadoes, and hail. And the hail came through and did do some damage on the garage, which I'll have to deal with that later. And since we have a garage here that has basically a bunch of my old cars running and not running, and all the good cars are out in the driveway exposed to all the weather. So they were predicting fairly large hail, so I rushed home from work. I went through cardboard on top of the cars with some Gorilla Tape to hold it together, and to tape it to glass. You don't tape it to, I guess you got chrome, you could tape it to chrome, but you don't want to tape it to paint. You probably peel the paint off when you pull it off. And all I had at the time was some car covers, so I threw car covers on top, which basically the water goes through and ruins all your cardboard. But if it saves the car, that's fine. But to try to get stuff that's more renewable, you can use the cardboard, and you can get tarps. This one's from Harbor Freight. It's 15 by 19. The cars are usually like 16 foot long or so, so you run it the 19-foot way. Throw your cardboard down. If the wind, usually you put things down and the wind kicks it, it blows it back in your face. So I just use some Gorilla Tape and tape little tabs to the glass to keep it in place in time for me to throw the tarp on. Like I said, the cardboard works pretty good with the tarp, and this will keep it from getting wet. You can reuse the cardboard. If you can't get the 15 by 19 foot, which they only had one there, and I have multiple cars, I went and got the 11 by 11. You could just throw them side by side. You have a little overlap, but that should be fine as far as keeping your cardboard fairly dry. And the other thing we can do, or I decided to do, is I picked up a bunch of these shipping blankets. So, and the nice thing about these shipping blankets here, if they get wet, you can throw them in the dryer. Of course, you only have to be able to do one at a time. I don't know how big your dryer is. But, yep, since we've had some hail, multiple hails and threats of hail, and I got my hail shelf here. So I have my tarps, I have my shipping blankets, I got my Gorilla Tape, I've got paracord, and I'm going to have to get myself a utility knife if I have to cut the cord.
A regular pocket knife works great. Then you need to seal it with fire.
Yes, but and of course my hail shelf is closest to the garage door, so I can rush home and cover up some of the vehicles and cross my fingers that I spent the money on all this stuff, and I spent my time wrapping up the cars, and hopefully I don't have hail. So one of the neighbors saw me wrapping things up, and that was the time we did have some hail. And he's like, "Oh, you spending all your time doing that?" And I go, "Yeah, but the more time I spend on it, that's more of a chance that it won't hail. So I'm doing it for you," and he got a kick out of that. The only problem is then we got hail, so I guess I jinxed it. So
also, there is a trick. If you park in pavilions, you won't get the hail.
Well, that's you. I don't have any pavilions around here, so. But you're talking, you had a wildfire. Anna had to evacuate because of a wildfire, so she had to, where she's at, she had to go around and tell all the guests to get out. And she's an hour and 20 minutes from St. Louis here. And then they had a tornado come by. So what's she supposed to do? So she ended up staying there and found a cabin to hide in, whatever. But
the tornado hit one of the towns near my work. But then a few weeks afterwards, we had a tornado actually run within 2 miles of the camp I work.
You could put the camera around so you could see you while you're talking.
Why would I do that?
Well, I don't know. So, yeah, that one came kind of close. There's a lake on the property, and the length of the lake is how far away from the actual tornado was.
It was an EF-3, and it traveled 18 miles.
Yep, and the 18 miles of travel was right by you. So
parallel to the property I work on.
Yep. So
I'm grateful to still be here editing videos.
Yep. So, well, hope this helps somebody out. Like I said, you can use cardboard. You can use moving blankets. I think the cardboard might actually be a little bit better. I'm not sure. The blankets are a little thin, but once you put a blanket and you have the heavy tarp on top of it, it does kind of the layers kind of help a little bit. So I guess that's about it. Hope it helps you guys out there. I mean, not all of us can have huge garages that you actually want to park your cars in, and part of the reason I don't park my cars in the garage, the drivers, is with all the electronics and different cars. I've had them recalled where the switch on your brake light switch or something catches on fire, and all these computers catching on fire, and you don't want to park an electric car in a garage because you'll lose your whole house. So rather than lose my classics because of all these computer controlled vehicles, I just leave them outside and keep the classics in here. You got to get your priorities straight. So I hope you got something, a little tip out of it. Hopefully it helps you out, and see you again later.
See ya.